What's up, everyone? This is a rather strange and interesting story from the Soviet Union. I guess around 1981, I think from a little bit of the research that I've done, in 1981 or thereabouts, some Soviet deep sea divers were doing a practice mission off the eastern coast of Russia, and one of the divers came across some other humanoids in the water, and he thought they were, I guess, around 9 feet tall or 3 meters, something like that. And this guy, instead of being like, wow, there are some weird looking humanoids that I've never seen before in the water, I'm going to flee and never come back to this. No, he didn't do that. He said, you know what? Kind of like Bill Clinton on that episode of Family Guy where he's like, I'm going to catch that pig. He just goes, let's go ahead and try to capture this strange alien being. You know, give that guy props. He has some guts, I tell you that. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to try to capture this thing." Well, apparently when they went and he got some more divers or something, and they went to try and capture this thing, it did some kind of reflexive defense mechanism. I have no idea what, and it pushed them away. And the divers were pretty far down below the sea, and so they rapidly ascended to the surface. And as you may know, you can't do that if you're deep sea diving because you'll get the bends. Because I guess like the pressure in the water builds up, and it causes oxygen or something to compress in your lungs or whatever. I have no idea, but you get the bends. So this guy experienced that, and this is just an article from the Black Vault. You may have heard of that website. The guy that runs it, he's been featured on the History Channel a few times, in a few other TV shows and whatnot. Anyway, let's check it out. Russian underwater encounters with underwater humanoids. I know this sounds pretty wild, but it's been featured on some interesting shows, and I'm just going to read what it says, and you can make up your own mind on what you think about it. A very important official, Major General V. Demyanko, commander of the military diver service of the engineer forces of the Ministry of Defense, USSR. He arrived to inform the local officers of an extraordinary event that had occurred during similar training experiences in the Trans-Baikal and West Siberian military regions. There, during their military training dives, the frogmen had encountered mysterious underwater swimmers, very human-like but huge in size, almost 3 meters in height. Yeah, when I originally read this, I thought that they were talking about the frogmen as being the extraterrestrials, but no, the frogmen were the Soviets. The swimmers were clad in tight-fitting silvery suits despite icy cold water temperatures. At the depth of 50 meters, these swimmers had neither scuba diving equipment, aqua lungs, nor any other equipment, only sphere-like helmets concealing their heads. Well, the local military commander, quite alarmed by such encounters, decided to capture one of the creatures. With that purpose in mind, a special group of 7 divers, under the command of an officer, had been dispatched. Yeah, so think about that. So this commander, hearing all this stuff, I originally thought that he'd actually seen it, but reading this like a third time, I guess he didn't specifically see it. Yeah, I guess it was just the group of them in general saw it. But regardless, they decided to try to capture these things. But it's like, how are they going to capture them? They're just going to go down there and throw a net on it? I mean, it's like, what the hell? But hey, props, man. That's some scary stuff. Can you imagine being like 90 feet, 100 feet down below the ocean surface, and you come across some kind of like 9 foot tall, weird looking humanoid with no scuba gear just staring at you? Yeah, that'd be pretty jarring, to say the least. As the frogmen tried to cover the creatures with a net, the entire group was thrown out of the deep waters to the surface by some powerful force. Now, because the autonomous equipment of the frogmen does not allow surfacing from such depths without strict adherence to the process of decompression stops, all of the members of the ill-gated expedition were stricken by aerom- aerombolism of the Kyson disease. Basically, they got the bends, as far as I know, that's what that is. The only remedial treatment available consisted of an immediate confinement under decompression conditions in a pressure chamber. They had several such pressure chambers in the military region, but only one in working condition. It could contain no more than 2 persons. Hence, local CEO had forced 4 frogmen into the chamber. As a result, 3 of them, including the leader of the group, perished, and the rest became invalids. Terrible consequences caused by the usual Soviet military bungling. So I guess their pressure chambers could only account for 2 individuals at a time, so they shoved 4 dudes in there all at once and be like, well, we hope you don't die, but here, get in there and see if you can decompress a bit. Man. The Major General rushed to the Issyk-Kul to warn the local military against similar devil-may-care actions. Although the Issyk-Kul Lake is more shallow than the Baikal Lake, the depth of the former was sufficient to contain similar mysterious creatures. Did the Major General know something that Officer Stenenberg did not? A short time later, the staff headquarters of the Turkmenistan military region had received an order from the commander-in-chief of the land forces. The order consisted of detailed analysis of the Baikal Lake events and reprimands. It was supplemented by an information bulletin from the headquarters of the engineer forces of the Ministry of Defense, USSR. The bulletin listed numerous deep-water lakes where there had been registered sightings of an anomalous phenomena, appearances of underwater creatures analogous to the Baikal type, descent and surfacing of giant disks and spheres, powerful luminescence emanating from the deep, etc. Probably from the deep water or from the depths. Such documents, without exception, were highly classified and for the eyes of a very limited circle of military officers. The purpose of such documents was to prevent unnecessary encounters. So, I mean, I don't actually have the documents in front of me, but this website, from what I understand, seems to be pretty legit in terms of trying to either discuss things that have been well documented or actually gain those specific documents or that are related to the United States from Freedom of Information requests. So, if there are Soviet documents that are available where you can see that all this stuff is documented, that's pretty crazy. That these guys are out there diving and they come across this. And I just don't really see like a bunch of Soviets, especially Soviet soldiers. They're pretty like serious, no nonsense kind of guys. I just don't really see them just making this up just for, some kind of weird joke. But let me know what you think. Do you think this is just some kind of hallucination, or do you think that, strangely enough, this did actually occur? And it looks like right here we have a map that can kind of show where the event took place off the coast of Russia. So let's see. Oh wow, I'm not sure how far out this is. I don't know if there's a scale, but it looks pretty far. Man, that's kind of way up there, isn't it? Hmm. Well, anyway, thanks for checking this video out. I got a pretty busy week coming up, so I'm not sure how many videos I'll get out. But until next time, thanks for checking me out. Later.